Welcome to what is possibly a new series. I'm not sure. I'll call it something cool like Meet the Creator, where I'm talking to someone who I've worked with on my music, on something else. And today I have the pleasure of meeting, basically for the first time, right, Ray?
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
pretty
we've sent
sure.
some photos along the way, but it's the first
Yeah,
time I
I
hear
think
your voice.
the only discussions were on Facebook. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, a male. Well, so I have the
Yeah,
pleasure to welcome Raymond Majors. Did I pronounce that correctly?
yeah, that's correct.
Alrighty. So we've worked together about 10 years ago on artwork for Blue Sky Don't Let Me Go and One Night Only. And lately I've been remastering, let's say, that Blue Sky Don't Let Me Go song. And we've been in contact again. And Ray was kind enough to deliver stunning new artwork for the song. So basically, Ray, how are you? What's up?
I'm doing well. What's up? Work has been stressful, been freaking flat out basically,
What
and
kind of
so
what kind of work do you do?
so I am a furniture installer, but also drive the trucks that deliver the furniture. So it's a whole system and all that. So
And
yeah.
I guess since it's over Australia, that it's broader than the Adelaide region, or is that correct?
No, we stay South Australia mostly. Um,
Alrighty,
there's a few times where we've gone interstate, but it's very rare.
all right. Because mainly your because my my understanding of Australia is of course uh, close to non-existing, but I always picture it like the big desert in the middle and the regions outside. Is that kind of correct?
Yeah, that's right. But
Okay, just
but the next state over is like probably an 8 hour drive away.
oh, okay, that
Yeah.
puts things in perspective. All right,
Yep.
great. Okay, but it's been stressful then.
Oh, it's been so busy.
Yeah. Well, it's better to be busy than to just sit around and do nothing all day, I guess.
I mean, it's pretty cruisy when there's nothing going on. You just chill, you're just relaxing, and it's
I
nice.
do like those days as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
when the boss comes in and it's like, well, we got to work on some internal projects right now because work is going a bit slower. I'm always like, well, that's doesn't sound like a punishment to me, but that's fine. that's that's good. One time he came in and he was like, we were thinking about creating ordering an intro tune for a new podcast that we're trying to make.
Yep.
But maybe since work is a bit low right now, you could give it a shot. And I was like, oh, so you're asking me to
Yeah. Why
make
not?
money while making music? And I'm not sure I disagree with that. So those are great days. All right. Well, let's maybe just take it back to the early days. Because we've met through a video on the Vsauce 2 channel. It was BDP Radio, I believe, where your artwork
Not
was
too sure.
featured. No, I think so.
I can't remember.
I
Oh,
believe
yeah, no, that sounds right. Yeah, yeah.
your artwork was featured and a song of mine was featured. And I remember looking at your artwork and going like, oh my god, this is the vibe that I want for the next Your Countdown era. So I remember just looking you up on DeviantArt and just finding your email address and like, I'm gonna get this guy. I'm gonna get in touch with this guy. So maybe from your perspective, when can you still recall when you first got that mail, that message from my end?
I mean, I think even back then I forgot that I was even featured in the video, and I was like, eventually I got the email and I was like, someone actually likes my artwork. This is cool. I like this, and it was just I don't know. I've never felt like that. I just usually made it because I was like, I like this. No one else will like this, but I like this, so I'm gonna do this. And then I got the email. I was like, this sounds like fun. Like, why not?
Yeah, it was a very distinct style you had back then. It was with planets and stars and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something that I vibe a lot with. Just the feeling of being small on this giant planet in this giant universe. It was something that
Yeah.
really struck a chord with me. So yeah, I instantly felt like, if I can get this guy on the graphic side of my music, that would be such a boost. And yeah, I remember that you were fond of working together instantly. And I
Yep.
think the first thing we did start was the Blue Sky Don't Let Me Go project.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Uh, this is probably a more difficult question, but can you still recall what you thought when you first heard the song and how those images popped up? Because you had a very distinct visual cue right from the start, yeah, with the
Yeah.
couple holding hands, forest around them.
Yep.
Whereas, these days, it's probably more likely that couples form in cities. So,
Yeah.
so can you take me a bit behind the scenes of how you were thinking right then?
Well, I can't remember what came first. I can't remember if I listened to the song or you told me like the story behind it, or both at the same time. And that's how that's just how I imagined it. Like what I put on the blank canvas was basically how I saw it in my head, and I just did little tweaks here and there to try and make it look better. And that was like the peak of my artwork back then. Is that I couldn't probably do it any better than that back then.
It's such a similar vibe because I had the same feeling about the song. Like, I'll never be able to do something better than this. And of course, time passes. I'm not sure if you've been active when it comes to graphic designs, because well, you're
I've done a little,
DeviantArt. You've done a
yeah.
couple of things.
I've done a little bit. It, it,
Yeah,
it turned into mostly like photoshopping images that I've taken, or manipulating them to look a little bit better, like getting rid of a car, or getting rid of a smudge on the lens or something like that. And then that actually helped me in this, like
the
the new
rework.
part, the
Yeah,
rework. Yeah,
because those Photoshop images, that's a bit more what we saw during the One Night Only era, right? When you did
yeah,
that beautiful picture for Empty Mind Join Me with the flashlight in
yep,
the forest. That's one that really,
yeah,
when you're making a song, it's very hard to visualize it. Sometimes it happens, but it's more a thing of feeling.
yeah,
And with Empty Mind Join Me, I knew I had to have a sense of being alone, being confronted with something big, and to just see that artwork come in, I was just mind blown about that. So yeah, great that you kept developing that skill. And well, over the years, we haven't really
yeah. It was
talked.
on and off. So
Yeah, we haven't. We've been in touch like for a couple of mails a couple of times, and then we just
yep,
went silent again. And so recently, I reached out with you with a request to reuse the original artwork because I still had those files. And you
yep.
said, "Well, let me remake it." And I was kind of wondering, like, could you dive a bit deeper in why you were eager to remake the artwork?
Um. Well, I mean, I wanted to push myself. I wanted to see what else I could do after all these years. Um, it didn't have, I don't know, it didn't have the same feeling to me listening back to it as it did back then.
Mm.
But I still wanted to, honor the song, and you're reworking it, so why shouldn't I? Like I want to rework it and just make it better.
Yeah. Yeah, because I do share that sentiment that the song doesn't hold the same sentiment as it did 10 years ago. Because, of course, when
Yeah.
I made it back in 2011, actually, it was about a very harsh breakup on my end. Um, being troubled, being well, having a lot of issues when it comes to self confidence and that kind of stuff. So those feelings are in there, but of course, right now I'm looking back at it, and I'm like, well, the problems I had 10 years ago, they all vanished. So it's more.
You've moved on, kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's weird because 10 years ago I thought I would never get over that breakup. I thought I would never get the life I envisioned for myself, where I had kids and I had a job that I liked and I could use my talents in any kind of way. So those sentiments, those feelings are all still in that song, but I kind of look back at it and I'm like, right now it's more of a homage to the kids that we all were once and the issues that we once had, but they all vanished. It's kind of also a reassurance that the problems that we have right now, because I'm sure as I do, you'll probably have some issues right now as well. They'll probably also just vanish in a couple of years in a couple of years time,
Yeah,
and
that's
we're moving on, we're
think
growing.
about life now. So
Oh my God, Texas! What the fuck is that all about? So the first time you're going to move out, so I moved out of the house when I was about 23, I would say, which is quite a young age
yep,
here in Belgium. I'm not sure how that's in Australia, but those first the first time you open a letter and you're not pleased with what's inside, because as a kid when you receive physical mail, it's like, oh my God, someone wrote me a letter. This
yeah,
was
it
like,
stops being exciting after a while.
whoa, instant 500 euro tax. It's a what? That's a month work for me.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's part of the growing, I believe, and um, it's something that I feel very much reflected in the current state of the song, where it's not that much about being heard anymore, but more about um, yeah, how do we keep growing and how do we keep overcoming problems. So yeah, the incentive of the song kind of changed, even though the original sentiments are still there, absolutely. So because when what I've found really nice was how you've evolved the artwork. I feel if you put the two next to each other, I always feel like it's something that you started from scratch, but it does. There is a big. Well, how do you say it? How should I say it? Um, when you compare the two, it's like, oh, these guys have grown up as well, in the same sense, because
yeah,
the story is still the same. It's still girl, boy, boy walks out, girl leaves empty-handed. Um, so it does feel the same, but there does appear some growth in those characters as well. Was that something that you thought of, or did that just come naturally?
I think it came naturally. I wanted to give more, like an extra scene kind of thing, just to tell the story a little bit more. Because otherwise, it's just a couple of pictures. But like, if you add a little bit more, and it kind of helps tell the story.
Yeah, what I found was that in the original artwork, you kind of went all in on all aspects of the graphics. Like the characters were, in my opinion, very well designed. The surrounding area was very well designed. There was a lot of things going on in the stars above. A lot of like nebulas that you could kind of see, and
Yeah,
I think that what really made this rework very powerful was the fact that you've decided to tone down on some things like the stars. They're massive and they're looking great, but they aren't as bright as that original. Really focusing in on what's happening underneath. Um, and of course, in the video, I've decided to add in a bit of color to create that dynamic for the music video.
yeah,
But
which
that
was beautifully
those
done. I love that so much.
Thank you. I've even added, like, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but I've added like a little camera shake, so
Yep.
like it looks like it's being hand filmed. Um, and it for the music video, it kind of needed that, but as a standalone artwork, it's just beautiful. Because I've got a remix of a friend of mine coming up. It's probably won't be out for a couple of months. Um, but in the remix, I'm planning to release the artwork from the night scene, as to have the both like both perceptions of it. So the main song is like the sunset, and the remix is like the nighttime. Uh,
Yep. Yeah. I like that
it's
idea.
Yeah, because it's just such a beautiful standalone thing to just look at. Every time it comes up on my iPhone, I'm like, whoa, this looks like a proper single. It looks like a proper release. Um,
Oh, and the sound, I was comparing the sound between the two, and the new sound, it sounds really good on headphones, sounds really good in my car. I love it.
yeah, thanks. I've done a couple of versions. I'm just looking right here because right now every session that I do is another version. I did. Do I know? I have done 11 versions of the song, and I think I
Oh, wow.
contacted you at version 4 or something. I was very
Okay.
happy with the sound, and then I listened on my headphones, and I was like, that's not it. Then I fixed
Yeah.
it, listened on my on my computer, that's not it, fixed it on my car. So I really made sure that it did sound okay everywhere. Um,
Yeah.
well, I mainly pushed the vocals a bit up because I thought when I listened to the original, like, oh, I can kind of hear the vocalist, but like she's a bit underneath all the layers, and I pushed her up, gave her a lot of space.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate that you've enjoyed the
Oh,
remastering as well.
yeah, very much. Because
Um,
yeah, I was like, how have you remastered it? I was wondering, and so I put them side by side basically, and I was listening, for the subtle changes, and there's a few little things that just pushed it further, and it just sounded so much better. It was just the
yeah,
little things.
it's I wanted to to stay true to what the song was because I didn't want to change the essence of the song. Um,
Yeah,
but I did want to improve on it because back 10 years ago, I didn't know anything about mastering in particular, mixing in
yeah.
particular. I was kind of just going along. I mean, I'm not sure if you're aware about audio levels and stuff, but
I dabbled in it a little bit, but I
yeah,
was never good at it.
no, but you know that songs peak at 0 dB. Do you know that?
Yeah, yeah.
Or yeah. So the original version of Blue Sky Don't Let Me Go had a peak of like plus 13 or plus 14. So the song was
Ah,
peaking throughout, and it's basically just my software's auto compression to that pushes it down to a normal level.
okay.
But of course, now I'm going into the song. I put my headphones on, I play it, and I'm like, whoa, this is loud. So I started manually adjusting everything, and I've also
Yep.
added some tricks like when you have a chord. Usually in the early days, I did the chords very close to each other. Like if you imagine them on a keyboard, it's like dun, 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 dun. So it's very close to each other. Whereas now I've
Yeah.
spread those chords open over the whole range they have. Added some tiny things, but not too many, and got rid of the saxophone. There was like a
Yeah. Right.
saxophone solo at the end, and that's
Oh yeah, no, I
something
think I remember that.
and something that I still struggle with a lot is saying it's enough at some point. You know, a lot of great
Yeah.
artists like Martin Garrix, like Skrillex, Fred again. They really mastered the art of knowing when to stop adding shit, and I didn't. So I was like, "Oh my god, we're going to a climax! Yes, yes, yes. Okay, final chorus." And then I want it another time, but it needs something more. And,
Make it more
and
climactic.
yeah, so let's add the saxophone. And I was listening to that again, and I was like, yeah, but this doesn't tell anything to the story. This doesn't shape anything. I'm just gonna get rid of it. And yeah, it's pretty much the same principle as what you've done with the stars and choosing what to push and what to hold
Yeah.
back a bit. So that's something. It's nice to hear that we have that kind of stuff
Yeah.
in common when we were reworking these things. Um, how are you? Has this kind of triggered something for you to keep developing artwork or?
Yes, a lot. Like I had so much fun creating it. Like just spending the time on it and then like sitting back and like, oh yeah, no, that's good. And then you're just like, oh, but I could change this. And then you look at that and you're just like, I made this. And then you just kind of look at it and you feel happy, proud.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. I was just like, I want to do more of this. I want to make more.
Yeah, and the sentiments indeed shared that, as you said in the beginning, it's like, I'm not sure anyone's going to like it, but I love it, so let's go. That's such a great thing. If anyone's watching this and is thinking like, hey, maybe I can get in touch with this guy, how should they do it? Is there any way for them to contact? Do I put your email address on the screen or?
I don't know. Was my email address on my DeviantArt? How did you contact me?
I'm not sure. let's check, because I did add your address on the video, like your Deviant page. It's still online.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember what. I mean,
it was RAM Design, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm not sure if you probably don't even have a password for it anymore.
Yeah, probably not.
Let's see. Okay.
Oh, it's not letting me go in there.
Oh, nice. If you want to have like a kind of time capsule of how I met you, it's so nice to go to that Deviant page, because it brings me back instantly to the time where where we connected for the first time. How do I contact you here? About Australia? Yeah, that seems right. 21k page views, mate.
Whoa. That's what happens when you leave it for a few years.
Same. I've made a remix of Theo Cruz, Dynamite.
Yeah, nice.
In 2000 and I want to say 9. I'm just gonna check real quick. Dynamite, your countdown remix. It's 13 years ago, and it kept silent until last year when it blew up, and right now it's at 140k views. It's such a weird thing.
You just have to be patient. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've even thought when it was blowing up, like I should remove it. But then again, I did like to see the subscriber count rise. And it's something to say that you're in the top 5,000 best musicians on YouTube. So it's kind of, I was like,
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like the gap between me and Beyonce is shortening.
Yeah, it's getting closer and closer.
Not by a lot.
You're the next Beyonce.
I doubt it, because I don't have the moves. I don't see any way to contact you on DeviantArt, mate.
Maybe I need maybe just check on my email. That'll do. Why not?
You just need a website, man. You need a proper website. Are you actually? Is your birthday actually 1st of January?
No, that's what I was. I think when I was underage for certain things, it would always ask for a certain year, and I was just like, that's January, and whatever year was
1960.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, no, I'll put your email address on the screen. Let's see. I do have that. Yes, so I'll put that on the screen right now in editing. Alrighty. I think that's about everything I had prepared, kind of. I'm not sure if there's anything you still like to share about the corporation or something.
I think I wrote questions for you, but I can't remember where I put them.
Okay. My offer, by the way, still stands. It's like 10 years old these days, but if you need music for any kind of graphical project, hit me up. We go way back, so I'd love to work.
Let's see. I think you basically answered this, but I wrote, how do you feel your own artistic journey has evolved over the past 10 years? And how
Oh,
has it been influenced by our collaboration on this project?
damn.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard to look at the progress and say that it was all a conscious decision or something, because I feel like um, because I feel like when you're making songs, of course, you only make one song at a time, and you kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
like, oh, does this work? Doesn't this work? Like I've always been someone who didn't want to jump on trends. I should have, but I didn't. Like for the
You don't
first
have to. You do your own thing.
yeah, but you know, it's the trends that get you going. Basically, if you want to be a successful EDM producer, you kind of have to like make remixes for 5 years, and after that, then you come with your original stuff. So
Yeah.
that's kind of sad, but no, I think you take it one song at a time, and you take and the intentions that you put in your songs are where your music is going. Um, because I've worked with artists that sat in my studio, which was kind of my bedroom just, um, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm in it for the money. I wanna become rich." And I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, I know I know one artist that was so up in his mind, like I doing this to get money, that I just said like this isn't going anywhere because it's not coming from a creative space, it's not coming from a emotional space, and I can't make music when there's pressure on how much it's going to earn. I can tell you,
Yeah.
I've made in all 15 or 16 years that I've been doing it, I made like 25 euros, which is 25 euro to AUD. That's 41, almost 42 Australian dollar. So you're not in it for the money, unless maybe I
Couple
break
Happy Meals that would.
couple right now, like 5 maybe. So something
Not
like
enough
that.
to be happy.
At least I get food. So no, it's very hard to say like how it's evolved, because you know I've done One Night Only, and that was a big project to me. But I did make the mistake of not including vocals right there, because in Frozen Waves I worked with vocals, and I was kind of frustrated that the people I worked with, the songs were ready for a whole year, and the vocals still weren't recorded, and I was like, this is holding me back. So I made One Night Only as an instrumental album, but I feel like it could have been stronger if I'd chosen to stick with vocals. Uh, After One Night Only, I went on a 2 year hiatus. Basically, I wasn't really feeling it. I was starting my own family, so I went on a couple of years of hiatus, and then bounced back
Yeah.
with One Night Only. And how your artwork has grown, that is that I'm in One Night Only, I was thinking more visually. So with One Night Only, with Velvet Skies. Velvet Skies is my last album. Shit. So with Velvet Skies, I was thinking more visually, whereas with One Night Only, I was like, oh, this is a great song. I'm gonna put it at number 1, and this is a great song. It'll be number 3, just because I wanted it. And in
Yeah.
Velvet Skies, I was really like thinking about, okay, what's the story here? How am I going to, if I want to see this as a series of graphics or as a movie, how would I really go about doing that? And I created that story of like a couple that's really hard, that's having a hard time, that's close to breaking up, to then refinding their love for each other.
Yeah.
So that's really what I took away from it, and also like things we mentioned before, like creating a kind of logo, something that I can identify with. That's just something that I can slap on instead of my name. Um, Keep it simple, keep it touchy. Make sure the artwork stands out. That's something I
Yeah.
definitely learned from our collaboration. I'm not sure if that answered the questions, but
No, that
that,
answers it perfectly.
all right.
What about what have you learnt from this that you're going to maybe implement in the next song or next album?
Mm, I'm not sure I'll do an album. Well, I'm reworking one. I'm reworking Velvet Skies because that has been taken offline by my distributor. So I'm working on a 55 track version of the album, which
Yeah.
I hope to release in 2024. But how am I going to do that? I'm not sure because I didn't start from scratch. I started from the basics of 10 years ago and I expanded on it. So I think if I were to make the same kind of song, I would probably start off different. So it's very hard to compare the two, but of course, the little things you learn, like not overdoing it, like making sure that things like vocals get the attention they deserve. That's something that I've learned throughout remaking this song. Just because you
Yeah.
can compare the two versions to each other, and it's night and day. It's a
Yeah.
big difference.
Yeah. It's
That's
so
it.
noticeable what you've changed, but it's so good. It's showing how you've grown, and
Oh,
it's
thank you.
great. Like I love
That means a
listening
lot
to
to
it.
me. It means a lot to me. Thanks.
No worries.
I'm not sure. Do you have any more questions?
Um, I think you answered most of them before
Nice.
I even got to it. No, I think that's it.
Awesome. Alrighty. Raymond, it's been very pleasure to meet you for the first time in person. I see
It's
it's
been good.
getting dark over there.
Oh yeah, it is.
We started the interview with quite a lot of sunshine. I was like, oh damn, he's getting a lot still because it's
Yeah, no,
spring
this is
there,
too
right?
bright. Yes. I mean, it feels like summer. It was 37 degrees today.
Okay, well, I'm not jealous at all. It's raining here, as usual. No, but thank you so much for coming on. It really was a pleasure to connect with you over this song. And as I said, if you have something for me, get in touch. If I have something for you, I'll be in touch as well.
And I'll be happy to help.
Awesome, great. Have a good night over there in Australia, and
Have a
we'll
good day.
talk. Thank you so much. Bye, Ray. Bye bye.
See you later.